Hi.
Hello. Right, so we are now here with a man who I've interviewed now. This is 9 years, and I'm finding different ways to introduce you every time. So I kind of run out, except for this is a man that my mum once described as better than those other people you listen to. It's Frank Turner.
The highest praise that could possibly be said. It's funny you should mention mums. I mentioned my mum on stage last night in an improvised bit of spiel. There was a bit of a ruck in the crowd at one point last night, and I said we had to stop a song because there were two people rucking, which is not a thing I enjoy. Yeah. And I was reasonably sure, like 90% sure, that which one of them was in the wrong, but I have called that wrong from the stage in the past. So you have to just be kind of like, everybody stop and step aside and let security get involved. But the way I put it, I was kind of like, please, I was like, I love my mum, but please stop making my mum right. Since I was a kid, my mum sees a mosh pit and goes, they're just fighting. And they're not fighting. And in fact, you know, as a kid, the mosh pit was this place of extreme catharsis. Physically, you get it all out.
Yeah.
But also, it's the old cliche, if somebody goes down, you stop and you pick them up again. Yeah. And then these two guys, somebody threw a punch at somebody else. And I was like, you're proving my mum right, and that's really irritating to me. Stop doing that. And I thought it was quite a good way of diffusing the situation.
Yeah, Mum.
Anyway, say hi to your mum from me.
I will do. Hi, Mum.
Is your mum coming tonight?
No.
My mum's coming tonight.
Oh, she normally does come to the local one, though.
She does, yes.
And you want to give her a shout out?
She's coming down. She's bringing her mates tonight. She's having a bit of a girls' night out to my gig.
Showing off, this is my son.
Yeah, they're all going to be like drinking Lambrini at the button. No, they're not. It's going to be good. But yes, it is comparatively local to my mum.
Yes. This is kind of strange because normally we do an interview and then we see you that night, but I actually got to see the show Friday night at the Brighton show.
And I spotted you in the audience.
You did.
And got momentarily very confused. But anyway, sorry, you were saying.
But yeah, because normally it's like, oh yeah, looking forward to the show, it's going to be great. Really good. And there's something I wanted to ask, because I noticed a couple of the songs, the older ones, you're playing slightly differently now.
Sure.
Faster and heavier.
Mm.
Is that a sign of things to come, or is that just because to give some new life to an old song?
I think it's a sign of a number of things. It's like, I mean, I would say it's a sign of where we're at currently. I mean, you know, FTHC's kind of leaned in that direction, and there's definitely, you know, broadly speaking, in a very simplistic way, what I do ranges between folk and punk. There you go, whatever. And the needle flicks around. And in 2019, we did the Seated tour, you know, and that was one thing, and now we're at the other end of the spectrum, and it's more of a punk thing. It's also related to Callum, my phenomenal new drummer who can play and do anything. In sound checks, we've got into the habit of like, God bless him, he sort of like errs on the side of, well, is that a joke? No, it might not be a joke, so I'll just do it anyway. And you just kind of go, all right, you know, right hand in 7, left hand in 4, swung triplets, go. And he kind of goes, okay, and gives it a go. And it's like, I don't even know what the thing I just said means. I don't even know if it's physically possible. But the thing is that then it turns out it fucking is. Because excuse my language, because he immediately starts doing it. Because he's very, very good. And stuff, you know, and with a lot of older songs, it's fun to kind of revisit them and refresh them a bit. There is something artificial about the business of recording a song, because a song is a vibrant entity in my view. And you know, like I listen back, not often, but if I listen back to the recorded version of Photosynthesis, it's like, that's how that song went.
That's how it's meant to be.
Well, that's how it went in 2008.
Yeah,
it's quite a long time ago now.
That's fine. That was yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah. But you know, so it's like, it's cool to revisit stuff and refresh them and all the rest. And at the moment, that's leaning in a heavy sort of direction. But as I say, you know, we did a whole tour of leaning in a softer direction for a bit, and
that was really cool as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that tour too. But it was kind of funny because that felt like almost like a step back before a leap forward in terms of like punching the universe in the face musically. And I would say the next record, which we are working on at the moment.
I was going to ask a bunch of questions that I'm pretty sure you can answer no to all of them.
Okay.
Because 10th album.
Yes.
10.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Not no. Yes. Yes.
Right. So recording date set yet?
Yes.
Ooh. But I'm guessing you can't say any, give actually any information on it.
I can tell you I'm recording it at my house, in my own studio. Nice. I built my own studio during lockdown and moved house. And we're going to record it there. We're going to get it mixed somewhere else, but we're going to record it at home.
Have you decided on a producer yet?
Yes, me.
Okay, so you're self-producing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to mix it, but I'm going to produce it.
Okay. Title?
I know the title, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm pretty sure none of these you could give too much
Okay,
information.
we're doing better than you expected, right?
So, have you written any songs yet?
20. And I'm planning on writing a few more. But, like, it's the shape of the album is there in my mind. And it's not, quite often I tend to take radical stylistic left-hand turns, particularly after records that do well. It's like, that went good, do something totally different. And, like, this time around, for the first time in a while, I really enjoyed FTHC. I thought it was a good record, and I want to do more.
So can we hear a bit more of that coming through then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying subject matter-wise, but sort of musically, aesthetically.
Is this album going to be as honest then, or not as honest? Because the last album was brutally honest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not going to be more songs about my dad. I feel like I covered that topic.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see, is the short answer to that. Well, the other thing, and like this is the thing that is huge news for me, and perhaps not as immediately engaging for other people, but I sort of want to explain why it's huge news to me. I recently finished my record deal. Which almost no one does. Not with Extra Mile. I'm still with Extra Mile. I will be with Extra Mile until the heat death of the universe. But I was signed through Extra Mile to Polydor for 5 records as part of the Universal family, a major label. We licensed to them. And we signed 5 albums. And like everybody, we went, 5 albums. And I did 5 albums. And I finished the deal. Apparently 5% of artists who sign to a major label complete the deal as opposed to breaking up or getting dropped. And we finished the deal. And everybody, including, and with all due love and respect to Polydor, I don't want to slag them off in any way, but they, we got to the end and everyone sort of went, oh. And they went, do you want to do more? And I went, no. I want to do something different now. And they went, oh, bye then? It was very weird sort of moment in time. But so I am essentially sort of logistically speaking kind of back to where we were when I did England Keep My Bones, or even arguably before then. And that's a really interesting thing because on the one hand it means there's less kind of infrastructure around the making of a record. There's more legwork that I do myself, and hence me sort of talking about self-producing and this kind of thing. But there's not that I was ever especially constrained, but there's just a lot more creative freedom as well. So it's an interesting time and place in my career to make a record because it's kind of like I could do whatever I want. And again, it's not that I necessarily was forced to do things I didn't want to do before, but there was a lot more kind of bargaining and negotiating that had to go on and blah, blah, blah. There's less money involved now than there was, but at the same time I can do whatever I want with it, and that's kind of cool, so I'm excited to see what this means. I mean, essentially I'm like kind of like megalomaniac. Megalomaniacally. There you go. I got there in the end. I'm trying to make an adverb out of it. Or an adjective. Adverb. I don't know. Megalomaniacally in control of my own sort of destiny, more so than usual, which might mean peaks or it might mean drops. I guess we'll find out.
It's quite interesting though. I didn't know anything about most people not actually making it to the end of their deals.
Yeah. I mean, major labels, their sort of business model is essentially throw a load of stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And I've long occupied a weird position in the music industry because, like, generally speaking, you're either, if you get to this point, you're either sort of Mumford & Sons level famous or you don't make it there kind of thing. And like, I've just kind of like kept going through the middle. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because the music industry slightly like doesn't quite know what to do with me. Do you know what I mean? But in a way that I really enjoy. And it's like, I increasingly feel like a survivor in a way that I like. Do you know what I mean? And it was just cool. Like I was down at the AMA Awards a couple of weeks ago, and there's just like people sort of go, "Oh yeah, that guy, yeah," and they slightly doff like tip the hat kind of thing. Because at this point, it's like nobody is obliged to like what I do, but you can't argue that it's meritless.
Yeah.
In its entirety, I wouldn't be working on album 10 if there was no content to what I do of any kind. I don't know, it's just kind of, it's cool. It's a freeing place to be.
I'm really glad at the awards as well that you got recognised for like the work you've been doing for independent venues. Like I think it's amazing that other people are picking it up because it's you're like one of the few artists that did anything during lockdown to help these things. And there were so many other people that could have done one gig and like made millions.
And that is a topic on which I'm going to have to be slightly circumspect because I I can work myself up into a pretty pure form of rage about this because I'll say this, when I started doing the IVL live streams, my intention was to do 2, perhaps 3, and then it would take off on its own and other people would do it. And I made the phone calls, and I know quite a lot of famous musicians, more famous than me, and didn't go that way for a number of reasons. And some people were admirably and honourably otherwise engaged. Like I called Billy Bragg, and he was like, look, I'd love to, but he was doing a whole bunch of stuff for kind of migrants and refugees and stuff like that in terms of fundraising. And he'd also independently done something for the Sugar Mill in Stoke. And it was like, of course you have, you're Billy Bragg. Like, and like people like Emily Barker and Ed Harcourt and people like that sort of got stuck in. But certain other people didn't. And I'm not going to say any more about that.
No.
But like,
I wasn't expecting.
I feel a little bit like that. That poster, like, Daddy, what did you do in the war? The kind of like... which the sort of kind of arguably bananas kind of pacifist shaming poster from the First World War, but I do feel a little bit like wandering around and buttoning holding people and saying, what did you do during the pandemic? Which isn't really a constructive thing to do, so I'm not actually going to do that. No. But like, yeah, it was an interesting moment. I feel like there's at the very least 2 layers to the music industry, and one of the upshots of the last few years is that it has, in a way that I quite like, reaffirmed my faith in the fact that I belong to the independent world, which is why at this point in my career, having finished that deal, because I've sort of dabbled in both, arguably, and it's like, oh no, that's home, and that definitely isn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about that.
So last thing on the album, number 10. Do we have a release date? I mean, so optimistic.
Early-ish 2024.
Okay. So too long to wait.
Before the summer next year is the plan.
Okay, that's fine.
That's an exclusive, by the way.
Yeah.
Before the summer next year. I'll tell you more about it when we stop pressing record.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this. Right. As always, we do have a game.
I'm sorry. This is my most exciting. I'll tell you this. This is total content right here. Tree, my tour manager, said to me, "We don't usually do press before sound check," and she was like, "You're right if I put something in on Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?"
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine, like whatever. Like, so it's Simon, and I was like, oh yeah, he can show up whenever he like. I'll do it in my bunk at 9 a.m. I don't care, because there's gonna be a game. So.
And this game is quite exciting because I've actually got a couple of producer friends who wanted me to get a like a little sample, so they're going to take. Okay. And potentially this is for TV.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
Do you mind being the first contestant?
No, of course.
Right. So, obviously,
is this a pilot?
It's a pilot. Yes.
Okay,
that's the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, there's a prize because ITV have got this like limitless lad now. Like the money's like massive, so they're looking for like other game shows that have got big. So this one's got a potential 2 million. Winning.
I'm going to win 2 million quid
potentially. I mean, it's the
today.
pilot, so I don't think you get the. Extra
You've got
money.
2 million quid in your bag.
But it's potential 2 million. That's remember the word potential.
Okay.
This is obviously the working title.
Right.
So the working title for this game is: if a man's going to put his gigs up in numerical order on a website, of course some idiot's going to come along and make a game out of it. The game.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. Snappy, concise. I like it. Yep. Right. Fine. Oh God.
So, there's a musician, you may have heard of him, Francis Tina, I think it is.
Right, I see. By the way, it is the pilot that everybody gets asked questions about my gig list, because that seems sort of like niche in the extreme. But anyway.
It's going to be a Channel 4, it's fine.
Right. Right, okay.
So, I do have 8 of your shows.
Oh,
and,
God.
I'll give you the number. I've picked what ones I think may be quite memorable. And then... straight away, if you can guess it straight away, happy days. Or I can give you the date, which helps, or I can give you the country, so that we get more and more clues until we're completely out, and I have to try and say something.
I'm not going to win 2 million quid right now, but anyway, fire away.
I mean, you put these up on your website. I had to go through them all. There's a lot to go through, and I was trying to pick the ones going.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right, so show 99.
I mean... Okay, the one thing I just have no idea. I can tell you what year it was. I think it was 2006.
Yes, correct. Okay. Do you want a clue?
Yes.
It's your first outside of the UK show. If I've read the list correctly.
Okay. Was it in Latvia?
No.
Was it okay? Was it in Ireland?
Bonjour.
France. There we go. Le Baiser Salé.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Le Baiser Salé in Paris. Okay, there we go. I remember that show.
So This one I think
there was like 8 people at that show.
Not anymore. There'd be
Yeah.
at least 16.
How generous.
Show 500. You do sing about this place a lot.
Oh, then it's not where I think it was.
Where do you think it was?
I thought it was in. I want to say it was in like the northeast somewhere.
No.
Is it in Nambucca?
Nambucca.
Okay, was show 500 in Nambucca? Maybe show 3. There was a round number 1 that was in like Middlesbrough Music Live. I remember that. Maybe that was show 300 or something. Anyway, Nambucca, fine.
Yes.
North London. There we go.
Right. Show number 1.
Show number 1. Well, that was the Bread and Roses in Clapham.
Not according to your website.
No, it wasn't. No, it was 93 feet. That was show number 2. Sorry, it was 93 feet east. God damn it. No. And let me tell you a funny thing about show number 1. Show number 1 was a benefit show that was organised by Andrew from Jet Plane Landing. And Jet Plane Landing played, and I played as the singer of Million Dead. And Dive played, which meant that Ben and Tarrant from the Sleeping Souls were there, and Kiaher, my guitar tech, was there, and I was there, and we were all there, and it was the 23rd of September 2004. Yeah?
It was the 18th. But
God damn it. God damn it.
Right.
Okay, but the 18th. The 23rd of September is when Million Dead broke up in 2005.
Okay.
But so the 18th, anyway, the 18th, but like there was at least 4 people in this touring crew who were in that room.
Yeah.
And we all talk about like if we could go back and teleform ourselves then, we'd all, drink the hemlock and
if we could turn back time.
Yeah.
To show 2056. I think these distinct big shows. Think
2056.
Think this sort of shape.
Roundhouse. Yeah? Was that right?
Yes. It was
it Lost Evenings?
Yes, it was the very first Lost Evenings.
Oh, okay. Really? That's interesting to me. So that was 2056. Okay. Right, cool.
Right.
Which was May
Yes.
2017.
Yes. Do you want to have
The
a
11th?
the date? Oh, 1 off. 12th.
12th. Okay, there we go. That wasn't bad.
That was close.
Bad.
That was good. Right. Show 247.
I have no idea. I mean, was it in 2007?
Yes, it was.
Right. Was there anything else of note about this show?
Yes, it is the first time you played the US of A. Again,
Ooh.
if I've read the list correctly.
Okay, so I reckon it was San Antonio.
Yes!
And it was, I can't remember the name of the venue, but I do remember the name of the promoter. It was a guy called Angel, and he stiffed us for money. He it was my first time playing in America. It was me, Jonah Matranga, and Josh English, and he stiffed us out of like $200, which was like half the fee that we were owed for the 3 of us. And he was clearly not him. Like, I felt bad for him. It clearly wasn't him, but he wouldn't pay us a thing. But there was this dude driving us around whose name now I've long lost in the mist of time, but he was like a friend of Jonah's. And he was driving for the sort of Texas to LA stretch. So the 3 of us in the back and this guy driving, who I'd not met before, and he was a Texan. And we spent like 2 hours arguing in the promoter's office trying to get this extra money and showing emails and contracts, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get the money. And so we went out to the car looking dejected, and this dude pulled a handheld shotgun out from under his passenger seat of his car and said, "Do you want me to make this right?" And it was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I don't want to be involved in a shooting in my first ever gig in America. And I wasn't. There we go. And I seem to think I have seen that Angel guy since, and we sort of made our peace with each other. But yeah, San Antonio. What was the name of the venue?
The Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary. That was it. Yeah. It was a warm-up show for South by Southwest.
Right, we've got
2007.
three more to go.
Okay, I'm enjoying this, actually, more than I thought I was going to.
Right, show 1,529.
I can tell you what show 1000 was, which is Car Park in Shoreditch. I can tell you where show 1500 was, which is a radio session somewhere in the States that we showed up, and they were like, it's a live radio session but with an audience, and me and Matt were like, cool. And then 5 minutes before we played, they were like, oh, the kind of video thing's not working out, so it's not being videoed. And we were like, okay. And then they were like, oh yeah, and the sound thing's like not being recorded either. So we were like, it's not really a radio session there, really, is it? It's a gig. Like, what? We were in a coffee shop at midday, so I can't quite remember where that was. 1,529. 29. Somewhere in America?
No.
No. Okay. Somewhere in England. Portsmouth. The Portsmouth Guildhall.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Was it the first time that we met?
Yeah, it was, and also the very first time you played here, because I couldn't find you playing the Guildhall before that show.
No, I don't think we did. I think it was a headline show, and it was the
Yeah.
last day of the Tape Deck Heart tour.
Because it was the day before Valentine's Day.
2014.
Yes, it was.
And we played Pine Vinyl earlier in the day.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and me and Matt had the worst hangovers ever. That was also I feel like I don't know where I should tell the story. Tree, my tour manager, doesn't drink, but she did that night because she just tour managed her first arena tour and had an absolute nightmare doing it basically. And she locked herself in the bathroom and like drank a bottle of red wine and told us all to get stuffed, would be the polite word. And it was very, very funny.
Right, so we got 2 to go. Show 2001.
Oh God damn it!
So we all know show 2000.
This was
There's
at
a CD.
Nottingham Rock City, and that was in December
So where did you go after that?
2016. Where did we start 2017? I don't know.
Okay. I thought that might be an easy one.
No. Well, I can remember show 1001 because I have a tattoo for that show, and I was planning on getting a show for show 2001, and I didn't because I seem to remember it being not the most remarkable show of my life.
Oh, it was Mexico City.
Oh, in which case I tell a lie. Oh, yes.
Oh, it was good.
No. That was no. I remember that. Yeah, we started that trip because we had Q magazine with us, and I had to. We flew to Mexico for like a week, and it was me and my guitar tech Kiaher from Jet Plane Landing and Fighting with Wire, who is an eccentric man, and then we had these 2 journalists and photographer from Q magazine with us for like 5 days, and I had to like sit them down and be like, don't be weird around the journalist and the photographer, please don't be weird. And he was
journalists,
like, right,
fine. We're lovely people.
Yeah. Well, and then he it was really funny because he was just kind of like going and quaking for the whole time. But yeah, anyway, right, I do remember that show.
Right, this is the last one.
Yep.
Show 1527.
Didn't we just do that one? Or
No, that was 29, and then you have a tattoo of this one. 1527.
1,000. So it would have been on the Tape Deck Heart
Yes.
tour. So we did 29 earlier.
Yes, we did 29, which was here.
So 28 was Pie and Vinyl.
Yes.
So 1,527 is what we're looking for.
Yes.
The O2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There we
got
go.
there.
Yeah, we got there with Flogging Molly and Beans on Toast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've not put the support acts down.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry.
No, it was. And that wasn't at that show. My enduring memory of that tour, though, was that Jay was driving around in this tiny little, like, not quite a 2CV, but a small car, like a Mini or something. And after the Manchester show, he left his car parked in this sort of arena car park and went to his hotel. And we were having some drinks after the show. I was drinking with Ginger Wildheart, funnily enough. And my crew, and it's an arena tour, so there's a lot of people on the crew, got hammered and decided to hide Jay's car by picking it up and carrying it around the corner, which they did. And they hid it behind the bins. Which was very, very funny. And then I also remember on that tour, and I can't remember which show, it might have been Cardiff, Flogging Molly's backdrop fell down and landed on their drummer during a song, and he kept playing under this like 40-foot by 40-foot sheet, essentially.
That's dedication.
Just kind of like his cymbals were dampened, I remember, because they had this sheet on him. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think I did all right.
You did all right, and there is a bonus question.
Okay.
Because for some reason you've put this at the bottom of the website, which is how many countries have you visited?
47? 8.
8.
Ah.
There we go.
Bulgaria is the last recent addition to the list.
So remember, I did say it was a potential
2 million quid. Right. Okay.
So this is your potential 2 million.
What are you going to do if I actually win 2 million quid on
Probably
this?
mug you, if I'm honest.
Yeah. If I win £2 million on the scratch card, we'll split it.
Ah, deal.
Yeah?
I mean, you've got
Am I scratching this now?
You can do if you want. You've got to beat £15 to beat Tom from Lottery Winners.
Okay, right. Okay.
Because
so
I decided
game 1. So you know what? I've barely ever done a scratch card in my life. How do I do this? So I just scratch all of these off.
Yeah, just scratch it all off.
12 hours later.
Ship them. Nothing.
Nothing. So,
Nothing. Do you want 50p? That's all I got.
I don't want to say it, but Tom did better than you. I mean,
Well, no, he did. I mean, I'm fully cognizant of this. That, as you will have already heard me say on stage, I've been talking about how the fact that the lottery winners are going to take over the world.
Yeah.
And I will joyously ride on their coattails. I mean, there is a broader point in that, which is that, like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, there are some bands who sort of act like support acts are a threat or at best an inconvenience, and I just think that's so insane. Like, I cannot think of anything that would fill me with more joy than to see a band that I took out on tour become more successful than me.
Yeah.
How amazing would that be? That'd be awesome. And I mean, the one example at the moment, like Pup are doing so well, and we took them out on tour ages ago, and like they're brilliant and they deserve to, and we are even possibly talking about maybe opening for them some shows in Canada, where they're from, where they're enormously huge now, and like it seems that some people are like, are you okay with that? And I'm like, why would I not be okay with that?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So when the lottery winners are headlining stadia around the world, then I will open for them gladly, if they can remember who I am.
They will. Tom will.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, thank you as always. It's always so
It's
much
been a
fun.
blast. I feel sad that I don't have £2 million more pounds than I had, than my 50p than I had at the start of this interview. But I enjoyed the quiz more than I thought I was gonna. So
I mean, I'm trying to come up with new quizzes every single show.
I know.
It's quite difficult.
you don't. Maybe I'll come up with a quiz for you next time.
Yeah, next time, quiz for me. All right, absolute pleasure as always. Looking
man.
forward to tonight. And album 10 sometime before the summer next year.